welcome to the Wolfchase Toyota Insider, the Memphis Tiger Network. I'm Jeff Private alongside Natalie Poole. And Coach, before we talk about the fall and the upcoming spring, talk about the finish to last season. You finished up strong, got in the conference tournament, got into the semifinals out at ECU. A good way to finish out last year. It was a great accomplishment for our girls, our team, and just help continue this progress of getting better every year and being a fighter in this conference, which is pretty tough. Something about college athletics, you start progressing, then all of a sudden you come into this fall, 11 newcomers. Absolutely. We have a lot of new faces to our team, and that's a pretty significant size group to add amongst a group of girls. And so I was really pleased so far with the chemistry that we have. They're working really well together. We have some newcomers that are stepping up and I think are going to be a huge part of what we do in the springtime. Talk about your thoughts on fall with the 11 newcomers. I know you did really well in your fall schedule. You kind of played it with the newcomers to get a lot of people some innings, whether it was at the plate and at bats, whether it was in the circle. You finished off with a nice win over Ole Miss, and that one you were playing for real. Yes, we made sure that we settled in and just committed ourselves to making sure everybody gets a little bit of time, whether it's an offensive opportunity or defensive opportunities, and so we stuck with that, and I thought that we did well. The newcomers mixed well with our returners, and I saw some nice combinations that we think will lead us into our spring season. The last game, of course, ultimately we made some choices about playing the top 11 players at that point, just so people would have an idea, and it was all based on productive at-bats and previous opportunities, and so we gave them an opportunity to see how we gauge things based on performance, and I thought that those girls stepped up. We did have some newcomers along with those returners that were a part of that game, and I thought our pitchers did a nice job. We ended up throwing 3 of our pitchers and all did really well, and offensively we had a nice performance. We exercised some pretty good discipline and was able to do some things off of their pitchers. They showed 3 pitchers of theirs, and I think they were lacking maybe 1 or 2 of their normal starters, but I felt like overall we had a great performance. That's good for the team and you guys as a coaching staff. You need to see how you're going to go through game situation, what your rotation will be like once you get to the spring. And it's, I guess, a reality check, especially to newcomers, freshmen, because they come in and go, hey, the NCAA is great, I'm playing, it's just like high school, then all of a sudden, all right, here's the reality. Absolutely. This level is tough, and it plays on your emotions, your mental mindset, and you have to keep working on your physical game. And I didn't want any of them to be satisfied at this point, even those who got an opportunity in this spring game. I've talked about past experiences that I've had where we had a starter in the fall and then in the springtime they were not a significant player, and so I use it to encourage those who did not get the opportunity, but also to continue to push those who did get the opportunity. And my hope is that as we go our separate ways that they will be motivated by the things that they desire to accomplish. Scary time of year for the coach, because I guess either very limited or no contact whatsoever. It's going to be up to them before they come back for spring practice to maintain at least their fitness. Yes, that's very stressful. I do have a lot of confidence in this group that I believe that they will work. We do need to get a few healthy. We had a few small injuries right at the end of our fall season, all fixable things though, and that will help over time. And so I'm looking forward to seeing what they do, how committed they are. But I will be wondering, how much they're working. All right, Coach, before we get into the winter and getting into the spring schedule, let's talk about your recent signing class. How do you like them? I really do. We've got another large class coming in this next year, and then after that we'll taper off a little bit. But we just kind of continue to find student athletes that we felt like would be good additions to our team. So we've got a couple outfielders, a couple infielders, a couple pitcher-catcher combinations, and so I think that they're going to add a good mix to what we already have, and it might make us a little bit larger for a second, but then we'll come back down in number. But some of them we just couldn't pass by. They were good athletes, and we felt like they would mix well with what we already have. All right, Coach, let's talk about the spring. We'll talk about the schedule specifically in a moment, but the American Conference multi-bid league every year, and now you add Wichita State into it. Absolutely. And Wichita State, they have a great reputation in softball. In the most recent years, they've done really well, and so it's just going to continue to make our conference better and better, and so I'm excited about that new addition. It's going to take away our bye weekend, so it doesn't really change too much. We'll just play the weekends back-to-back all the way through, and of course they'll be a part of the tournament, so there'll no longer be a bye in the tournament. It'll change that, so we'll even it up to 8 teams and go with it. So I'm excited about the new addition. When you start the spring schedule, you'll have 6 tournaments. 3 of those will be at home, but you'll have a lot of tournaments as usual. We will. We'll play those 6 preseason weekends like we normally do. We'll go down to Florida Gulf Coast.
We'll also go to Northwestern State and then also UL Lafayette. And so we anticipate to play some teams from all over the nation, some very reputable teams. And then, of course, we'll come home and we get to play host to a lot of different teams, some more regional, some a little bit further away, but a lot of northern teams that come down to where there's a little bit better weather. It's also a wonderful opportunity for us to get in front of a home crowd. 3 back-to-back weekends, which means that we're home all that time, and our girls really appreciate that, especially after being on the road for the first 3 weeks. And then right after that, we move into conference play.
And some of your big individual non-conference games, now you'll see Mississippi State, you'll have Ole Miss at home. I think you're going up to Columbia to play Tennessee this year.
We are, so play some excellent competition out of conference, which I think is just going to continue to prepare us. Hopefully out of those games we can pull out some wins, which can help us with postseason opportunities as well. And then, it keeps us very regional. We're able to play some teams that are close to us so that our midweek trips aren't so far.
All right, Coach, sounds good. We'll catch up with you in the spring.
Thank you.
That is head coach Natalie Poole. I'm Jeff Brightwell for the Wolfchase Toyota Insider on the Memphis Tiger Network.